this kind of looked as if it was like built in the 70s, you know? Because we wanted the film to not exactly be period, but like hint that it was not taking place in modern day.
Welcome back, daughter.
Your signature like decor, especially for these interviews.
There you go. Well, how's life? How's the fam?
The fam, I saw Elise at Sundance recently because we both had projects at the festival. So that was always amazing to reunite with mom. I've worked with her a few times, so I actually call her mom.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then Ian, I haven't seen them for a bit, and I haven't seen Casper since the shoot because, you know, he's a busy man. So I'm very much looking forward because I believe the family is going to have a little reunion this Thursday and Friday. So
there you go.
Very exciting.
A little premiere reunion, right?
Yeah, yeah. And Corey is very busy writing and developing so many things. So very grateful that we were able to make this film together before so much has blown up with him in his career. Yeah.
Look at you, you're flourishing now, you're out of the house, you got your own place now, seems like it, so you made it out.
I made it out of that house. I made it out of the garage. The garage was what
the garage, technically, yes. An empty garage too, by all means, like very spacious for a garage, you know?
Yeah, it was, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say empty, but there was a lot of things, but they were out of reach for me.
Exactly. It was organized because I know most garages are just like junk all over the place. You can't even move through them. This one, you know, was at least organized and tidy.
Yeah. With the garage, I spent like 6 days in that beginning of the shoot, and I almost lost it. So.
Doesn't it get claustrophobic if you're like so much in one space like that? Kind of a, you know, even though you have like lights and stuff, but it's kind of a confined area, right?
It wasn't just that. It was like I think that added to it, and it created kind of like, because it was more of like the emotional and mental headspace I had to be in for 6 days. And that's only 6 days. I can't imagine for actors that are shooting much longer schedules and have to do something so dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about Heath Ledger all the time with that, like, but with that, I think it was more the emotional and mental headspace, and then the physical became part of it. So after 6 days in it, I associated with being in the garage with that mental headspace. But I think it started more as oh my God, I have to go into this like really dark headspace for a lot and just constantly be chained up doing that.
Yeah, and just like the mood too, like you're soft spoken, don't say much, you know what I mean? Like just gotta be in this kind of a like dark even mood to
and not be able to give voice that you want to.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one of those, we talk about it. I've talked about it in other interviews where just been like, you know, I would hope that if I'm in that situation, I'm going to raise more hell. But I'm like, but the reason why she survives is she's smart. So you can say she's being meek. It's kind of like Elizabeth Moss in Handmaid's Tale. It's like the survival thing. It's like you're being quiet because you're in survival mode and you're observing. And you don't act until you're ready to act.
Exactly.
And I think that's why this sister, you know,
screaming and yelling won't help much. You know what I mean? No one's there to be ready to knock down those doors and everything. So I guess the strategy is the way to go.
Strategy.
I was also thinking like this could have been easily solved. They could have just hired you as a live-in nanny, paid you, you know, give you like a weekends off or something. This could have worked out very well.
Then I'm not a sister.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't get that close to the family too.
You know, I think a father wanted, you know, he didn't want a nanny. Also, if I was a nanny, I'd be going off telling the world about this man that locks up his wife and child.
True. There's a point there. A good one. What was intriguing me the most, the hazmat, like masks and suits and all that, like I felt like
It was really fun.
That was, whose idea was that? Because I thought it added another like element of creepiness to the film, just like having that as if like she was infectious or something at some points, it was just a very kind of bizarre but freaky look too.
I mean, that's Corey. But then as you see, like, we lived that months later.
Where'd you guys film the whole thing?
We shot in Santa Clarita.
Oh, okay.
We had a house. We found, Corey was always adamant that the film would only get made if he found the right location. And we found this lovely home in Santa Clarita that had this kind of looked as if it was like built in the 70s, because we wanted the film to not exactly be period, but like hint that it was not taking place in modern day. Because,
yeah, that have that kind of...
you can't have technology like phones and stuff like that, right?
That's right.
Or the question is like, is it the 70s or is it like actually a little bit later and this family's just stuck in the 70s, right?
Interesting. Yeah, what was your take on it? Because even the car, like everything around it, you could literally put it in different decades. There's nothing that gives it away that it's a specific time period.
I mean, I think I interpreted it as the film. Oh wait. Yeah, no. We interpreted it as a film taking place like in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. Yeah. That
could, because even the clothing too that they wear,
which plays into my clothing that you see at the top. Excuse me. Sorry, ever since I got COVID earlier this year, I occasionally get coughing bouts. But what was I saying? We interpreted
the clothing.
That.
We're talking about the clothing.
The clothing that I'm wearing at the top of the film, and then you see the shift, and that is a little bit more like you have no idea. But what was I saying before?
We're talking about
hazmat suits. That was Corey. Yeah, that all came from Corey. That was in the initial script.
Oh, okay. So it's from the beginning. It wasn't something on the fly.
His brain, the things that come out of his brain. I'm telling you, I've read a good number of his scripts. I don't know how that brain functions. It just dreams up very interesting worlds and universes. Well, I'll just say that.
There you go. Well, I feel like after you've done this, the world is full of possibilities for you. You already conquered the dark and brooding sort of, creepy films. So I think once you had that, you were trapped in a basement, in a garage, technically, in a home with a bunch of potentially serial killers. I think you can do anything acting wise.
Thank you. Yeah.
And also, I did think of it. I had these thoughts around. I'm like thinking a little bit of Saw in this movie, a little bit of like sort of a serial killer from potentially the 70s, or whatnot vibe to it. And I had got a cult vibe to it too. So it's like a nice mixture of genres I got through this movie.
Yeah. The comps we had right when we were still like trying to find financing before we went to production was, Corey said it's Dogtooth. If you've seen that.
I have not.
That's one of Yorgos Lanthimos' like early films. It's his third film. So it's in Greek. It is a bizarre film. But if you watch Dogtooth, you will see the massive influences it had on our film. I mean, I love Yorgos Lanthimos' like works.
Yeah, I'm a fan too.
Yeah. But like Dogtooth is just it's like another level of weird. And so bizarre and tense and just like, the dread and the tension that we have. Like that is like, and it's you're cringing and you're just like, what is happening? So definitely recommend that. And then it was like Dogtooth meets 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Okay, and it felt like 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's another one. Trapped.
And then visually, he wanted it to have like vibes of like a ghost story.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that
is such an interesting film. Like, it's so beautiful and profound, but then you're like, wait, that's just a guy in under a sheet.
Uh-huh.
And then you just start laughing because you're like, wait, he's so lonely. But then you realize the reality of when they're shooting, it's just a person under a sheet. And it's so like,
but it's a heck of a combo. I can see at least a couple of these films now that you mentioned, you know, make sense. So I will check Dogtooth then. That's now on the agenda. So thanks for that suggestion there.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Hey, I'm looking forward to see what's next for you. I think you were super cool in this role. It's not the easiest of roles to do, you know. The toughest thing sometimes is to be subtle and quiet, you know what I mean? And that has more of a reaction for an audience too to see than someone boisterous and loud. But you nailed it really well, and really interesting film. So I'm excited to see what's next for you.
Thank you so much, and stay warm in Chicago.
I'll try.
I like winter, but I do not miss like the Midwestern winters. It's brutal. So.
No, I see the sun peeking through by you, so you're in a good place.
I am in a good place.
All right, Viv, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.